I'm Kara Peterson, and I just wanted to let you know how I use the essential oils every day, simply because that is a common question that I get. Just how do I use them? So this is just a simple, brief YouTube video on just that. So let's go ahead and begin. So, how I use the essential oils every day. So I have to add the disclaimer, and that would be that all of the ways that I use the essential oils in this presentation are simple ways of showing them how they can be used, but do your own research and make your own decisions. Starting in the morning, this presentation only includes oils, not products or supplements. I use patchouli. It took me a long time to decide to use patchouli simply because it has a very strong smell. The FDA approved claims list does not include the reason why I use it. I put it in a roller bottle, and you'll see that a lot of the recommendations that I make include roller bottles, not because I just love roller bottles, but simply because when you're dripping the oils, you can make a mess, you can miss, so that your drips go somewhere else. And also you have an evaporation rate, so that when you aren't using the oils, or when you're putting them on, a lot of that oil that you go to put on evaporates. Whereas if you put them in a roller bottle with a favorite carrier oil, or when it's in a roller bottle, I prefer fractionated coconut oil, that doesn't evaporate. So you're actually getting the full power of your essential oil. I always use 1/3 to 2/3. That is still pretty high for your essential oil. That's probably higher than you need. You probably only need 1/4 to 3/4. That's just my comfortability. I use it against seasonal threats. The common recipe for seasonal threats is lemon, lavender, peppermint, and that is usually used internally. I don't find that to be as effective for me. I put it in the notch between my collarbones, AM and PM, and I tap 3 to 4 times. It sounds really goofy, almost like a Dorothy and clicking her heels. However, I found that it's very effective. So On Guard, it's a doTERRA blend. It supports a healthy immune system. Contains cinnamon and clove, amongst other things, but cinnamon and clove are very powerful against environmental threats. So when you feel that you're going to be out and about against, in situations where there's a lot of that, where people are sneezing and coughing and hacking and all of that, it just helps support your immune function. I put it in a roller bottle at the bottom of my foot daily because I don't ever know when I'm going to run into that situation. During the season where those environmental threats are higher, I put it in the diffuser. Frankincense is a favorite of mine. My son and I put it on the base of our neck every day. Again, it's in the roller bottle. I can't tell you why, which is really odd because the FDA ran their own government study, and that's the address where you will find that study. And it talks about a lot of the other things they found while they were running that study that support using frankincense every day. Balance. Balance smells like the woods. It smells like you're out camping. It has a very nice, fresh smell. And it evokes feelings of tranquility and balance. You should put it on your foot every day to try to help lessen your stress throughout the day. This is how I use it. It's also recommended to use it at night. I don't use it then. I use other oils at night. I just use it in the morning. Clary Calm is good for everything female. It helps balance your mood throughout the month. It provides a soothing and calming effect during a woman's menstrual cycle, and it's the best oil for your worst week period. I do not use it just during that special week. I actually put it on my ovaries every single day, simply because of that balancing mood throughout the month part. DDR Prime, called DNA Damage Repair Blend, helps support healthy cellular integrity. One of the recommendations is to add 2 drops to citrus drinks, tea, or water and consume daily to protect the body and cells from oxidative stress. I will tell you that some of the oils in there are very strong. I believe some are savories in there and thyme is in there. Those oils do not taste good at all. I can't even imagine putting them in my tea or my citrus drinks. I, again, just stick this in a roller bottle, 1/3 to 2/3, and stick it on the bottom of my foot every day. And I believe I'm getting that healthy cellular integrity, the oxidative stress relief, and the antioxidant benefits. So lemongrass, peppermint, and clove is a blend I make. Again, I cannot tell you why. That picture there, the 11 uses for clove essential oils, came off of Pinterest, and I believe the reason is on there for however long that will be able to remain on Pinterest. I can tell you that I use 20 drops of each of those oils. Clove is the only oil that has, through research, been found to actually help for what I use it for. However, the other ones balance it out and also act as a good, off oil for the other ones, so I use those as well. I put them in a 10 milliliter roller bottle, and then I fill the rest with that fractionated coconut oil. If I were to have had an Adam's apple, I would be rubbing it over that area twice a day. I make a body butter. I've played around with my ingredients several times. So the original ingredients call for 1/2 cup, 1/2 cup, 1/2 cup. However, I have found that if I only use 1/4 cup of the light oil, because the 1/2 cup of the virgin coconut oil is that Crisco kind of coconut oil, and then the 1/4 cup of light oil is a runny oil, and I use almond and jojoba and equal it up to 1/4 cup. That makes it not greasy, whereas if I put the full 1/2 cup in, it does get too greasy. And then unless I'm making this for gifts, I do not put the essential oils in, because then I can put essential oils in at the time that I'm putting the body butter on to match whatever I'm needing it for. For example, if I'm using it at night, I can use wood oils or lavender oils to help with relaxation or sleep. And if I'm using it because I just worked out and I'm experiencing some temporary soreness in the muscles, I can use my mint oils. And then lately, because it's the winter months, I've been feeling very cold. So I came up with a blend of cinnamon, thyme, and rosemary. I was kind of worried about the thyme and rosemary, to be honest with you, because they're very herby smelling, and I thought I'd smell like the kitchen cabinet. However, when I added that cinnamon to it, it rounded it out and it smelled kind of nice. They all support healthy circulation, and cinnamon especially creates a warming feeling for the body. So I use this and it helps me feel warmer throughout the day. During the summer, and I don't have this on here, my body butter changes, and my favorite that I have found, I really like mixing a wood with a flower with a citrus. And the 3 that I've come up with that I love the most are cedarwood, geranium, and grapefruit. And all 3 of those do some amazing things for me, which is why I also lean towards them, but the smell of them together is also quite nice. I am not a big flowery person, and geranium is hugely flowery, but the cedarwood and the grapefruit round that out. So throughout the day, I do use lemon in my water bottle. I use glass or metal. I only put 1 drop in. Lemon is very good at naturally cleansing the body and aiding in digestion. I do not recommend for everybody to use oils internally. I only use the doTERRA oils internally. So please make sure you read your labels, you make sure that they can be used internally, and that you think about what is going on in your own body to make sure that that will work for you. A good night's sleep. I have read so many people who put oils on their pillow or dry their sheets with them or what have you. Those don't last for me. So I use a diffuser. That diffuser right there I actually sell, and it lasts, I believe, 12 to 16 hours. I really like vetiver. It's calming, grounding effect on the emotions. I use 1 drop of each of these, by the way. However, vetiver is very root smelling. I mean, it's very earthy smelling. So you can substitute vetiver with cedarwood, and a lot of my clients have really liked that, especially my men. Clary sage is excellent in there, and clary sage is known to really help induce sleep. It is also really good for women when they're going through that hormonal change, if the reason they're not sleeping is because of that. Like say they've slept all their lives really well and then all of a sudden they're not sleeping, and it just happens to be, you know, around their 50s, 55-ish, and it could just be a hormonal issue as well. Clary sage is one that I would definitely put in my diffuser at night along with other things. And then lavender, it helps ease feelings of tension. Anytime somebody's talking about sleep, usually lavender or a lavender blend comes into play. So I always have 1 or 2 diffusers going in my house. I have lots of different recipes because it's almost like playing with a chemistry set when you have essential oils. But some that I continually go towards is in the morning, I go towards a wood oil and a citrus oil because you like the calming and the uplifting. I've really liked the Douglas fir because it promotes a positive mood and a sense of focus, with the grapefruit because it's also uplifting and promotes that positive mood. Recipe 2, after school, lemongrass. It supports the parasympathetic nervous system. So if you have been kind of frazzled all day long, that lemongrass kind of helps with that. Basil, same thing. It promotes mental alertness so we can get our homework done, but it lessens those anxious feelings. So you have that lazy day where you just want to hang out in your socks and look at the snow or relax on Sunday. I really like lavender and arbor vitae. Arbor vitae is a very strong wood oil. And a lot of people think it smells like just sawdust. However, if you just put 1 drop on, you'll notice that it lasts for a long time and it's hugely calming. It's almost like it resets your entire system, it feels like. And then that with the lavender, which has that more floral smell, it's widely calming and eases the tension. So those 2 are heavy duty calming. And then in the office for me, there's a lot of studies on the internet. You can just Google research, scientific studies on rosemary essential oil, and you'll see study after study comes up on recall, focus, concentration on rosemary oil. So that's a really good one. And lime also, because you have that citrus, so you have that emotional balance, well-being, and uplifting. So not only are you concentrating, but you're happy about it, right? So that's a good one. So thank you very much for joining me. I hope that I've given you some ideas to use your oils and maybe some new ones you can get excited about buying and using. And if you have any more questions about the oils that I use or why, my Facebook page, and I usually post something different every day, is facebook.com/essential healing. And my website with articles is www.whyuseessentialoils.com. And I don't know if I can come back. Oops. Here. So anyway, thank you very much for joining me, and you have a fabulous day.